Yo, you thinking about buying new equipment but don't know what to pick up? Let's talk about it. What's happening, everybody? Boy Big Brando, and today let's talk about investing in the best whenever you're buying new equipment, new machines, new technology. This is such a heavily biased topic on the internet. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, anywhere that has content around products. There's people talking about products, one, because they get paid to talk about them, two, because they have affiliates with these companies, three, because they own the company, four, because they're trying to validate their own purchase. And let's talk about all of those things now. Whenever it comes to buying equipment, you have to buy within your budget. Buy what fits your needs. But as the consumer, we go to YouTube and to the internet to figure out what's the best. What should I invest in? Where should I spend my money? Because we're looking for validation on what we think we need. So we go to YouTube and like, all right, this guy has a good review, this guy has a bad review, this guy has a good review, this guy's talking about this. But how do you navigate through the BS? How do you navigate through the guys getting paid to talk about certain things? It is very hard to do and very deceiving at the same exact time. The way I like to look at things now is I try to buy into the companies that have a lot of people making content about those products. And it's not because of the people getting paid to talk about them or because I have an affiliate with somebody. I like to buy into something that a lot of people have because then it's easier for me to troubleshoot that stuff. Meaning if everybody's using the Cricut and the Cameo vinyl cutter, whether you're creating t-shirts, whether you're a crafter, whether you're a scrapbooker, whether you're just a hobbyist in general, those two vinyl cutters have millions of views on YouTube already of people that use them, people that get paid to use them, people that get paid to talk about them, but also just regular everyday people using these machines. There's so much content around those cutters, whether it's paid for content or free content or whatever it is, there's so much information about those cutters out there already that I know if I bought into that, I can just go on YouTube and learn how to use the machine. That's how I buy machines now, is based on how much content is already out there to help me learn how to use this machine. Same thing goes for heat presses, embroidery machines, DTF printers, anything that you wanted to get into, even software. If it's Photoshop, Illustrator, Procreate, Corel Draw, Affinity, whatever software is out there that you want to invest in and use, all you have to do is go on YouTube and see who's teaching this stuff, how much content is out there around this stuff. So then that way it's easier for you to learn whatever you're investing in. This is how I operate. When it comes to investing in the best, is the best meaning everybody has it? Could be. That's a very personal opinion when we're talking about the best. But for myself, I want to make sure if I run into an issue, can I run to YouTube and type that issue in and have videos of people that went through it already and how to fix it? Or do I want to have to invest in something where I have to contact the company directly to learn how to fix something? Most of the time, we don't even want to hit up companies in general because their customer service might be outsourced to another country and there might be a language barrier, or their customer service might take 48 hours to respond back. And sometimes we're in the middle of production and we want to clear the jam or figure something out right away. And we all go to YouTube University. We type it in, we see if anybody has that same issue or ran into that issue or something similar to that issue. So then that way we can actually get back to production. So this is why I buy based on what the masses are already using, because it's easy for me to learn how to do something, especially when it comes to big investments, DTF printers, embroidery machines, DTG printers, any of those types of big, expensive pieces of machinery. I'm looking at YouTube. All right, I know Heart and Hustle has a Ricoma machine. I know A-Dub has a Ricoma machine. I know they make a ton of content around using their Ricoma embroidery machines. So that way, if I have an issue, I can just go to their videos and type it in, like, oh, you know what? This is how they cleared this jam. This is how they dealt with a needle break. This is how they dealt with this error code. This is how they put on their hat hoops or whatever it is. I know that there's a ton of information already out there around the machine that I have, and it makes it easier for me to use. That's why I still use stuff like the old Cameo Pro, because there's a ton of information out there on that machine. I haven't even upgraded to the new Mark II Cameo Pro yet, but when I do, I'm gonna go on YouTube and I'm gonna look at everybody that already has one and find some people that I relate to and how to use it. So then that way I have a source of information already in the bag before I even get the machine. I don't know if you guys are like this, but before I make a big purchase, like if I'm buying an e-bike or if I'm buying a new cell phone, if I'm getting the new iPhone, I'm going on YouTube and I'm looking at what the features are. I'm looking at the people already reviewing the product, how to set the product up, how to do this, what the unboxing's like. I watch these videos all the time whenever I'm buying something. If I'm buying a new camera, before I bought the Osmo Pocket 3, I watched a million videos of that thing before I bought it, so that way I know how to use it. I knew the ins, the outs, the good, the bad, all of that stuff before I even got it, so then that way I have a good understanding on what I'm getting myself into. Yeah, there's other cameras out there on the market and there's other e-bikes out on the market, but I'm buying based on what the masses are using, so that way I have information accessible to myself. And that might be the dumbest way of getting into things. I know things are cheaper with other products. I understand that, but it doesn't matter to me if I went and bought the cheaper version of something based on price, but there's no information online about it. There's no customer service. There's no troubleshooting help. It doesn't matter. There's a ton of people that are like, oh, I don't want to get a Cameo or a Cricut because everybody has that. I want to get this certain cutter. And that's cool. You could get that cutter. Or there's people in the industry that only believe in certain brands. They're like Cameo, the Cricut vinyl cutter. Those things are hobbyist cutters. Don't invest in those. You're not a real business if you buy those. You need the Graphtec or the Rollin or blah, blah, blah. And that's cool. There's a little bit of truth to that, right? Those cutters might cut a little faster. They're a lot more expensive. They're a lot more robust. They're built for production. But is there a lot of people making content around those cutters to help you troubleshoot any issues you might have? If you're buying this big expensive cutter, you want to make sure that you have information out there and the support system to help you clear the jams, get up and running and all that good stuff, right? This is something that a lot of people look past. They're only going based on what the salesman says. Buy this, buy that. But me, on the other hand, I like to go where the information's at. And then that way I'm buying something that I know works. I know these people are using it for this reason, like they're using it just for heat transfer vinyl. That's what I'm gonna use my cutter for, is heat transfer vinyl. I'm gonna go to where these guys have so much support on this stuff and everybody's talking about what vinyl cuts best in there, what blades work best, these are the settings, this is how you get the right depth. All of that good stuff is already on YouTube by other content creators. I'm going to their page, I'm watching their stuff, I'm sold. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna buy this cutter because this guy shows everything from unboxing, setting it up, getting it going, and it takes all the guesswork out of it for myself. So when we're talking about software, I use Photoshop, I use Illustrator. I learned on Photoshop. I'm comfortable using Photoshop for all my design work. Is Illustrator a better designing tool? Yes, it is. I just know more about Photoshop and I'm more comfortable using it, so that's why I use it all the time. Same thing goes with Procreate. Procreate's a new app on the iPad with the Apple Pencil and it's dope. You could draw on there and you can do all kind of dope design work on there. I don't know too much about it, but I also know there's a ton of other apps out there that let you draw on there, but there's so many tutorials and support for Procreate on YouTube already. That's how I learned all the different brushes. That's how I learned how to do everything on Procreate is on YouTube. If I chose a different software that was free, or I chose a different software that doesn't have as much support on YouTube, then it would take me a lot longer to learn the stuff. Like I said, when it comes to the embroidery machine, that's a big, expensive, heavy lift on my pockets. I want to buy into something that's going to have dope support, that's going to have a lot of people on YouTube already talking about it and showing the ins and outs, and that ultimately just helps myself out. Is there other embroidery companies out there? Yeah, there's tons of embroidery machine companies out there. Which companies have a bigger online presence for support is who I'm buying into. That's basically what it comes down to for everything. Camera gear, vinyl cutters, heat presses, computer programs, embroidery machines, printers, whatever you are looking into. Go to YouTube, search it up, do a lot of research that way. That way you make your decisions based on the information that's already out there for you. Yeah, you're gonna have people that are giving you biased opinions on what something is because they get paid to talk about it. But also, if you look at all of the content around certain machines and stuff like that, there's people out there just making content to make content because it ultimately helps the community of other users that have that same product. Same thing goes for like RC cars. There's people that are biased to certain RC cars, but there's people that are like, I ran into this issue changing out the wheels or changing the servos. So they make a video about it so the next person that runs into that same issue, there's information there for them. If you're buying a new refrigerator, same exact thing. Hey, this Samsung sucks, this LG's better, this Whirlpool's better, whatever it is, people are sharing their experience. So where is all the information around the product that you want to buy living at? That's where you need to be. If you choose to use any of the machines that I use all of these machines because there's a ton of content around them already. Heat Press Nation has a bunch of their own videos, troubleshooting everything. They also support replaceable parts for their machines. There's not a lot of heat press companies out there that do that. If something goes wrong, they're like, man, just buy a whole new press. With Heat Press Nation, if something goes wrong or you're running into an issue, they make it easy for you to contact them. They'll help you troubleshoot the stuff. If it is a replaceable part, easy call. They have replacement parts. I've never had to deal with that, but I know that option is there. The homie Jared makes a ton of videos about all the products they sell, how to use them, how to unbox them, how to set them up. The information is there. I use the Ricoma MT1501 embroidery machine. I have one, A-Dub has one, Heart and Hustle has one. I believe the homie Kenji has one, if not the same machine, something similar to it from I Can Do It Studios. There's so many content creators that have these machines that are showing the ins and outs and everything about them. Like I show on my channel how I load up hats and set them up because that's what I use it for. But I know if I ever run into an issue, I could type it in and there's a bunch of people that have these machines that are showing everything about them, how to set them up, how to run them, how to maintain them, all that good stuff. When it comes to vinyl cutters, same exact thing. I use the Cameo. There's millions of people out there that use a Cameo also. How to use the software, how to operate the software, navigate through the software, how to swap out blades, how to find the right depth. Everything you wanted to know is already on YouTube about these products because I am a student of YouTube University just like you. I like to go through and find out what's what, how to do things. I like to make my life easier, and that's basically it. So if you're looking into buying new equipment, investing in some software, go on YouTube, search this stuff up, do a little bit of research, see what content is already out there around the things you're planning on purchasing. And I would always suggest going with the popular product. That's just me, but I do it because the support is online already. All right, if you guys got any questions or you don't agree with what I'm talking about, put it in the comments, let me know. There's no right or wrong answer here. Feel free to follow me on Instagram, Big Brando TV, if you wanted to and you wanted to see some of these machines in action. I got that stuff on there for you also, all right? Catch you guys on the next one, man. Yeah.